Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to discuss the remaining part of the RBI annual report through which we are getting robbed actually by the RBI. Before going into the content, I'll just give a brief discussion of functionalities of RBI and what does it do. So here it is. If you could see on the screen, the functionalities of RBI majorly consist of four categories. The first one is like banker to the government, regulator to the banks, lender of last resort, controller of credit. I'll just briefly explain each point. So the first one is banker to the government. So whenever the government requires the funding to expend on public welfare, it could be laying of roads, establishment of infrastructures, or giving pensions to the old age citizens, giving subsidies on LPG, giving subsidies on ration. It could be anything for that matter. And it also acts as a regulator of the banks in India. So it acts as a regulator and it controls the composition of the board of directors of the any bank in India. All the banks has to report its annual financial statements to the RBI once in a year. So they are accountable to the RBI. So the third point is lender of last resort. What does that mean? Let's say if any bank goes bankruptcy in India, so it has to go to RBI and plead, RBI, please, can you please help me? Can you please finance me? I need to repay the money to my depositors. Then the RBI considers the bank's plea and research on its own whether it is viable to finance the bankruptcy bank. So what is bankruptcy? So bankruptcy means any bank which is unable to pay back its money to its depositors. The last option left to the banks is go back to the RBI and ask the financing from them. So the last one is controller of credit. How does it control the money supply in India? When there is a huge inflation, they'll just increase the interest rates. If there was deflation, they will reduce the interest rates, through which they'll play a game of money supply, currency supply. So many of us wouldn't be knowing from where the money is created, where we are getting the money. Most of us would say we have to earn the money through work. Somebody says we have to get it by loan. Somebody says we have to rob it from the ATMs or the banks. But in reality, it is quite different. The money what we are getting into the system is actually a debt to the government. The money has been borrowed by the government of India from RBI to spend on public welfare. So better stop saying it's your money, start saying it's government's money. So we are getting money only when the government of India is borrowing the money from RBI. Now let's try to understand how the money can be circulated in our economy. So initially RBI financed the government and government spends on the social welfare. Initially RBI financed the government and then government spends on the public welfare. Through this mean we'll get the money from the government and we establish some businesses and we'll start the economic activities. And on the profits what we earn, we'll pay the taxes to the government in the form of GST, in the form of income tax, in the form of wealth tax, could be anything for that matter. So the government collects taxes from us, they pay back the money to the RBI, but the twist is they don't pay back whole the amount what it has borrowed. It will just pay back the money in the form of interest. Principal remains the same. They don't pay back the principal. What they are going to pay back is only the interest on the amount what they have borrowed. And what if the government of India is unable to pay back the money in the form of interest? No worries, my dear. They'll just postpone the payment. In order to finance the interest payment to the RBI, they'll again borrow the money from the RBI and the RBI happily finances the government at any point in time and n number of times. After all, the RBI is just an establishment created by this government of India. So the picture is pretty much clear. The RBI has been permitted by the government of India. RBI prints the currency, they finance the government, government spends on public expenditures, public welfare, they collect the taxes from the public, they will just repay the interest on the money borrowed to the RBI. If new money is required, they'll again go back to the RBI and ask for a fresh round of printing of the currencies. So the major asset to the RBI is loan given to the government. Let's emphasize this statement in the annual reports of the RBI. I'll just show you. And now if you could see the Reserve Bank of India balance sheet, you can clearly see the investments domestic BD, the amount read as 13.33 lakh crores, and this amount has been held under the asset side as I mentioned earlier. This is an asset to the RBI. And let's try to figure out what they have mentioned about the investments. So they have given a clear statement what was the 13.33 lakh crores consists of. I will just read it for you. You can also see on the screen. Investments comprises dated government rupee securities, state development loan, treasury bills and special oil bonds. The Reserve Bank's holding of domestic security increased by 13.75% from 11.72 lakh crores as of June 30, 2020 to 13.33 lakh crores as of 31st March 2021. So there was 13.75 increase it seems from the June 30th. So further to add, the increase was mainly on account of liquidity management operations conducted by way of net purchase of government securities amounting to 1,92,821 crores. And if you could see my previous video, I've clearly mentioned they have borrowed 1,91,000 something change during the fiscal year 2021. And this is the actual face value, and the amount what I have mentioned in my previous video could be the discounted value. So the next question comes into our mind is, so what's the backup for the issue of the currency to the RBI? There should be something backup, right, to issue any kind of instrument. Let's take for an example, if we are going to the bank and if we ask for any loan, they'll just ask you for the backup. Either it could be mortgage of your land, could be mortgage of your house property, could be mortgage of your gold loan. And on the basis of the mortgage value, they will determine your loan eligibility and grant you the loan. In the same way, the RBI also holds something backing for the issue of currency notes. Let's just try to understand what it is. Now if you can see on the screen, I will read it for you. Assets of issue department. The eligible asset for the issued department held as backing for notes issued consist of gold, rupee coins, investment foreign ID, Government of India, security and domestic bills of exchange. The Reserve Bank holds 695.31 metric tons of gold, of which 292 metric tons of gold held as backing for notes issued as on 31st March 2020. So ridiculous, right? They are holding only 292.3 metric ton of gold for the issuance of so much of currency, and so much of currency is being circulated in our country. So funny, I say. And I'll just wanted to end up this session here. I'll just try to emphasize the remaining part of this annual reports, remaining key points in my next video. Until then, see you. Goodbye.